Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fortress Comic News, episode 301. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host, Mike. What's going on today, Mike?
Hey. Nothing much. We got another interview for everybody. Episode 301. Phoebe Xavier is on the show. Going to be talking about a lot of cool stuff. Person of many life experiences and awesome projects, like stuff that I like. That Bluetooth thing was just like wild to me. I loved it. Yeah.
I love the diversity of stories that
hmm
she's telling. It's not
Yeah.
like she just has one thing she's going for, and some of the ideas like you don't see coming. But you guys will enjoy that interview, I promise.
Yeah. Other than that, just hanging out. I purchased a manga the other day. I haven't bought manga, man, since I think middle school. But I was in Target just walking around, and I saw they had Volume One Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I read that.
And I picked it up, and I was like, "Yeah, Chris told me good things. I'm gonna check it out. I haven't read it yet, but I do have it. So now I need to get a whole new bookshelf for all my manga. Now is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's gonna happen to me soon because I've been getting more and more into manga.
I'm actually kicking myself because back in the day, I had like the full run of the original Naruto series. And I got rid of them. Like when I went to college, or my mom got rid of them or something. And I was like, I wasn't like an avid comic collector, but I still had like, I still have that Heroes for Hire issue I talk about all the time in the 90s. And I remember I was in an airport, and it was a magazine spinner rack at an airport, and I picked it up, and I forget the number of which Heroes for Hire cover it was. That was my first introduction to Iron Fist, but somehow I kept that throughout like the years of going to. I was like 7 years old, and it survived high school and college, and is in my comic collection today. But somehow I lost the Naruto books. I don't know where I went wrong.
Your mom's just like, the comics, that's serious shit, but this
Yeah.
Naruto stuff, that's for
this
children.
manga crap. She's like, it's all backwards. They printed it wrong. They're to throw it out. But yeah, I think it's I don't know. I'm getting more and more into it, like you are. It's like getting me excited about it. So
yeah, there's some fun stuff over there, and it's weird and wacky and interesting, and I'm enjoying it.
Before we talk about news, have you watched any of The Last of Us yet?
Yeah, so as you all are listening to this, the second episode's out. As we're recording it, only the first episode's out.
Yeah,
I did watch it, yes.
I'm probably going to watch it tonight, but what were your thoughts? Good?
So I'll go into this first. I was not a big fan of the game. Like I think the story is really good. It's just the gameplay just kept bogging me down personally.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've been wanting to go back and see, like, it's been a while since I've tried it. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while.
And I want to see if my thoughts have changed on it. But that aside, just so everybody knows where I'm coming from in terms of the game, I thought the first episode was really good. I mean, it's the first like hour of the game, and it goes in deeper on stuff. There's obviously some differences, but I don't think any of them are so different that anyone's going to be like really mad about it. And obviously everybody's really hyped on that show. So
yeah.
And Neil Druckmann's a part of the writing staff. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that helps.
So
this is
really
probably like, hopefully this sets the standard for like more video game properties being done right.
I think you're seeing it more and more because I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog is what it is, but like that's very, very much what Sonic the Hedgehog is.
Yep.
And then the Uncharted movie was really, I mean, it was an Uncharted movie. It worked. It's not a great movie by any stretch, but I think it set up a lot of good things that were from the game as well. So I think we'll see. This is PlayStation Production's second foray that we're seeing, and it seems so far they're doing really well with their adaptation. So
that's good.
Yeah. I also watched this week that 90s show.
Oh God, I saw some reviews for that. What did you think?
So I was morbidly curious, so I had to do it.
Yeah.
I'll say this. It's really nice to go like see where our old friends are. Like,
from That 70s Show.
Yeah, it's when they show up, it's really great. The new cast is okay. I think my biggest problem for me is I don't care what high schoolers are doing anymore. So like the high school stuff, unless it's nostalgic, doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But all the stuff with Kitty and Red's great. When the other cast members show up, it's great. There's a good twist at the end with a surprise cameo that's a lot of fun.
Hmm.
And I will say, rightfully so, but it's very noticeable that you see everybody and Hyde never shows up and he's never
Yeah.
even mentioned. There's a good reason for that if anyone wants to Google what's going on with him. But I'd say it's okay. I I think they could keep this going for a little bit. Uh
Does Ashton Kutcher come back?
yeah. And Mila
Everybody's back?
Kunis. Everybody comes back.
Yeah.
Bob
Wow.
comes back. Fez is like a regular because he still lives in Point Place. Everybody else is
Wow.
like moved away. Well, actually, no. Kelso and Jackie still live in Point Place. We only see them once.
Okay.
But like Fez is a love interest to one of the kids' parents, so like he
Oh,
shows
okay.
up regularly. Um, Donna actually shows up in like 3 or 4 episodes too.
Okay.
So and there's a lot of good like so of course Donna and um Eric's daughter is named Leia.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like the lead character's name is Leia, which is a lot of fun.
Uh,
Um, Eric is like a professor at a university now, and one of his classes is the religion of Star Wars. So like they
that's
implement a lot
cool.
of that stuff that was fun about the original show. I
Yeah.
think it's worth watching, but I wouldn't expect to be like blown away by it. It's like a
Hmm.
fun romp, and I think they do it correctly in doing 10 episodes because it gets you in and out, and you don't get sick of it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know everybody was back. Um, okay, so we have a little bit of news. This was like a teaser that was released. Amazon Prime Video has released its first tease about the upcoming Invincible season 2. The short clip came that showed Mark and Alan at a diner talking. It also came with the release of late 2023, uh, which is sad. We have to wait till like the end of the year. Um, the conversation was a lot of fun, and the fact that like it was breaking the fourth wall was like, why does this take so long? And it shows like all the voice acting and animation, and I guess what they're trying to say is like the quality of animation takes longer, so that's probably why we've been seeing all this weird, shitty animation lately. Um, but uh, I think overall, um, I if it's going to be good, it's worth the wait. I really love the first season. I can't wait for the second one. So
Same here. I really want them to do it right because if Invincible is done right and we get to do the full series,
yeah.
it could go down as like a classic. So it's worth waiting a little bit extra. If it takes a year and a half in between seasons, I'm all for it.
Hmm.
Yeah, that first season was so good. So I'm really really excited for this to come back, and I'm glad that at least we got a window. You know,
Yeah. Yep.
I would prefer the window
Um,
was tomorrow, but
yeah, true. This is interesting. Reports indicate that Prime Video will increase its slate of comic book adaptations. It said they're developing live action adaptations of Bitch Planet and Sex Criminals. Those are two separate properties, anybody that doesn't know these books. Both very popular series at Image Comics with pretty long runs. Um, yeah, so that's awesome. I never read Bitch Planet. I did read some of Sex Criminals. I know you were a big Sex Criminals fan. So that's pretty cool.
Chip Zdarsky art, sex
Yep.
criminals.
Yep.
Yeah, I never read Bitch Planet either. Just from the title, I read the synopsis too. I'm not judging by the title, but
Yeah.
when I saw the title, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. And I read the synopsis. I'm like, it doesn't seem like it's meant for me.
Hmm.
Um, Sex Criminals is a wonderful book, though.
Yeah.
Everybody should go read it, and I hope they do a good adaptation. To be fair, Amazon Prime's been doing really good with their adaptations.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, people who love Lord of the Rings, yourself included, or enjoyed
Yep.
the show.
Hmm.
Obviously, we're loving The Boys and Invincible, so I'm really happy it landed there because I think it's gonna be good for Sex Criminals to get that.
And
Uh,
all the whenever Netflix has a first season, it gets canceled anyways. So at least there's some hope when it goes to Amazon. I can't man, I can't get into any seasons of shit on Netflix that come out because they're canceling everything. Like it's insane.
yeah, people really like that 1899. I didn't watch it, but
Yeah,
and then it's like, yeah, it's canceled.
Yeah, and
Like what?
I'm watching Yellowstone right now. I know people are probably sick of hearing about Yellowstone. We're just watching through. It's like I'll describe Yellowstone as like this era's like it's so dramatic that it's absurd at times. And I think I've talked about it on the show before. Maybe I haven't, but it's almost like the '60s Batman of like nowadays to me because it's like someone will just get unloaded a full like assault rifle clip into their chest, and the next episode they're like getting out of bed riding a horse, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like someone is in an office and the office blows up and they're like shell shocked and like completely third degree burns and they light up a cigarette on the sidewalk, and I'm like, this is not how the human body works at all. So it's almost like everybody's internalized the '60s Batman utility belt, and it's just making them bulletproof.
You have done a more successful job of making me want to watch that show than the hundreds of people who told me I need to watch Yellowstone.
Yeah, and I knew I had to make that pitch for you because it's like if you go into it thinking like, oh, this is how fucking cowboys live every day, it's not. It's absurd and dramatic, and it's almost hilarious at times how dramatic it is. But it's supposed to be serious. Like the characters are cool and stuff, but like the absurdity to it is like, wow, the writers are. There's no way the writers are writing the show being like, oh yeah, that could really happen. They're like, no, this is fucking ridiculous, but it's going to be awesome. That's like, and it just gets progressively crazier as it goes on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I'm seeing with to go back to what we were originally talking about,
Yeah, sorry.
I feel like Netflix is going to lose pedigree eventually because even like Paramount Plus is like,
Yeah.
well, listen, I watched like 2 episodes of Halo and I couldn't get into it. But
Right.
even they were like, people like this show, my dad. So we're going to, since we got decent ratings, let's keep making it.
Yeah.
Because they're traditional TV people, they're doing the traditional TV model of like, we did good with season 1, we can grow that.
Yeah.
Where Netflix, I've heard the thing where if you don't binge it, you don't count towards their ratings,
Which
which
is
is
stupid.
stupid, Netflix. And they don't want to grow shows. They want instant hits.
Yeah.
And it's just not working for them. And eventually
No.
it's going to bite them in the ass. Because, yeah, how many, like you said, I don't even really get into Netflix shows that often unless it's something like that 90s show, like we talked
Sweet
about.
Tooth. Sweet Tooth was a great one. I don't know if the season 2 is ever coming out. I think it might have got canceled. It might have.
Yeah, and that was, oh my God.
Sweet Tooth was so good.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Like, come on.
I should look that up, see if that got canceled. But yeah, that's a good example. Like, why would I get into another show like that if I know that it's going to get canceled? If not after season 1, after like season 2 or 3, like it's never going to get its ending.
Yeah.
Like I think that Stranger Things is like grandfathered in.
Right.
So
yeah.
that'll get its thing, but everything else is free game.
You want a 3-hour episode? Fuck it, Stranger Things. You get it whatever you want.
Yeah.
You want a second season of Sweet Tooth? Fuck you.
I think maybe Netflix, I don't know what your metrics look like, so I could be wrong on some of this, but like maybe spend less time like throwing dice at like random Korean TV. Like I get Squid Games worked.
Yeah.
I get it, but like how many others didn't?
I will say I'm gonna have to knock you down there because I know some people relative to me that watch the K dramas. That is an obsession. Like
okay.
that. Yeah.
Maybe that's a wrong example. I'm just saying.
I had no idea.
Stop throwing shit at the wall at random shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And start trying to be more deliberate in what because like there's so much trash, and then like something like Sandman, we had to sit through how long of like will they, won't they?
Yeah. There's all these memes online of like they had like 8 different animated properties and they axed them all and they kept Big Mouth, which is like the worst one.
You know what?
It was like, what are you doing?
Because Big Mouth was pitched to me multiple times. Yeah. We're going to get into a lot of this right now. Big Mouth was pitched to me multiple times. And if you put Big Mouth on paper, like what it is, it's a Chris Ash show.
Right.
And I watched it and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
This is not a Chris Ash show.
No, like you have all the elements of like potty humor and all that stuff that I like. Like I'm a simple-minded man. I'm easy to drag in.
Yep.
But it's just something about it's creepy.
It's bad. Yeah. It's not good. It feels wrong. But yeah, and
Yeah. Anyways,
anyways, let's with that lovely sentiment, let's do this ad from our lovely sponsors today.
yeah. So eating healthy used to be a struggle for me. That is true. But that was before I discovered the BlendJet portable blender, kind of. Now, when the fast food temptation strikes, I just blend up a delicious and nutritious protein shake or smoothie. I do that. So everybody, the BlendJet 2 is sponsoring this episode. The BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up a smoothie at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even a margarita at the beach, which is what Mike does all the time.
All the time.
It's small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through tough ingredients like ice and frozen food with ease. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothies without waking up the whole house. It lasts for 15 plus blends and recharges via a USB-C cable. Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap and you're good to go. All this stuff is true. I've made a couple smoothies with it. I've been doing my protein shakes with it. It works phenomenally. And yeah, I was upset when I saw I couldn't take it apart and put it in the dishwasher because, as I said earlier, I'm a simple man and I like to put things in a dishwasher
Why
and not
don't
have to
go
think
in
about it.
dishwasher?
But when I read that you could just like put a drop of soap in it and blend it and it cleans,
Yep.
I was like, cool. That's
Yep.
not
I will
quite as
say I've
easy as
done that.
dishwasher BlendJet, but it's pretty close.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to use and I like it too.
So what are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. And be sure to use the promo code FCN12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping.
Free.
No other portable blender in the market comes close to the quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They guarantee you'll love it or your money back. Blend anytime, anywhere with the BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code FCN12 and get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever. 12% off and 2-day shipping. That's awesome.
Come on, people. What are you waiting for? You're probably waiting for the interview. So let's jump to that with Phoebe Xavier, and we'll see you on the other side.
Goddamn, Mike, you're a pro. And we're back.
Awesome. So check out all the amazing things going on at 123 Go Publications. All the projects that Phoebe's working on, that cool stuff. Yeah. Not enough indie publishing going on. There could always be more, so support that.
Yes, do that. Some good stuff coming from her.
Yep. Comic news, Chris.
Comic news.
Quite a
lot
bit.
of Marvel news. I love it.
Quite a bit for you this week. All right. It's pretty exciting. We don't get a lot of comic news lately, unless it's like Comic-Con time. Marvel has announced a new creative team and a new #1 look for Black Panther coming this June. The series will be taken over by writer Eve Ewing and artist Chris Allen. Is Eve Al Ewing's wife?
I think wife. I could be wrong about that. I don't really follow their personal lives that much.
I feel like they've been on a book together, so that looks familiar. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think John Ridley's doing Black Panther right now. Not a character I follow that deep, but
yeah.
So obviously, if you got John Ridley doing it, he's going to wrap up his story. He had the story in mind, and he's done. And now we're giving Eve a shot. So probably still won't pick it up. I'm not a huge Black Panther fan, but I'm sure people are excited. People like Eve.
Yep. This is, the timing is impeccable, just in time for season 2 of Loki. The very, very spotlighted character will be getting a new limited series, appropriately titled Loki. The series will be written by Dan Water, with art by German Peralta, because, that show's coming out. And what better time to do that?
Got to have a comic on the shelf.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's typical Marvel. I mean, I really think DC should start adopting this too, but
yeah, like a Peacemaker book right around the time the show comes out. Come on.
Yeah, and I think you'll see that with James Gunn coming over. But for Marvel, it's of course they're going to do this. Another character though that I like when he pops up, but I've never really gotten into any solo Loki books personally. So
Yeah. Um, I mean, if they go to the direction of the show, I could see it being interesting. But I think originally his solo series wasn't much of that.
his solo series, I mean, he has. I know a lot of people are huge Loki fans. He has deep fans, and there's some like different things they like to do with Loki, but I've tried some of the ones that I'm told are like the great Loki stories, and they just don't do
Mm-hmm.
anything for me. So
Yeah. Um, okay, this we've been talking about this one for months, speculating who will take over the Avengers title after Jason Aaron. We have our answer. Uh, Timeless and Moon Knight writer Jed McKay, alongside artist Stuart Emanen, will take over this June. The series will continue the story from Timeless about the missing moment, and the team will consist of Captain Marvel, Sam Wilson, Captain America, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Thor, Black Panther, and Iron Man. So, hey, Jed McKay, good for him.
yeah, well deserved. I've
Yeah.
become a huge Jed McKay fan over the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'll have to reach out to him see if we can get him back on the show. But that
Yeah.
aside, I'm really happy that he's getting it because I've liked the books I've been reading by him, and I like when Avengers Justice League they keep that nice succinct team.
Yeah.
Like this is the team we're moving forward with. And
Right.
one thing that Jason did that was kind of tough to get behind, and especially with this last story arc, as fun as it is there's so many people to
Yeah.
keep
It's
track
too
of.
many. Yeah.
So I like this team. I think it's just having Thor, T'Challa, and Tony Stark
Mm-hmm.
is a great trio to build your Avengers team around, and then
Right.
to give Sam the spotlight in there as Captain America is great. So I think it's gonna be a really cool book, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Jed certainly worked his way up to that for sure.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
earned this
yeah,
100%.
it's awesome. Adding the lineup, adding to the lineup for the Star Wars 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi comics will be an upcoming Ewoks one shot that everybody has been waiting for. This one shot will be written by Alyssa Wong with artists Lee Gabbett, Casper Wingard, Kyle Holtz, and Paulina Ganichu. This Ewok story is said to be different than you might think, mostly because it'll be a horror story. Hell yeah. Okay. Now that's how you get me interested about Ewok story. If you're murdering Ewoks, let's go.
I love Ewoks.
Yeah.
Um, quick clarification because how Mike read it. It's the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, the movie.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah.
Um, but I love Ewoks. I'm down for Ewoks all the time. Like I have Ewok plushies in this room. My cat has Ewoks toys.
Are you ready to see them get murdered, though?
I'm down. Whatever spotlight we can put on Ewoks, I'm down for. So it's a Star Wars book. I'm going to buy it. I believe it's just a one shot, so I'm in for one issue. That's
Yeah.
fine. So I'm actually really excited for this. I think this will be a lot of fun.
Alyssa Wong was doing cool shit with Iron Fist, so
Yeah, and she's been in the Star Wars universe too with Doctor Aphra, and she's been
yeah.
killing it on that book too. So
Uh, I just want to see the story of like them running from a Rancor and as they're getting like shredded apart. It's gonna be awesome. And
I
maybe I'll
would love
check
the
it out.
story to be them being the ones that capture the Rancors for the job of the Huts,
Oh yeah. Oh,
and,
that'd be
and like
cool.
them having to create these like little traps to like catch these Rancors and bring them to
Oh
the
my
Huts. I think
god,
that'd be funny.
that would be awesome. DC has finally announced that they will be publishing for Free Comic Book Day 2023. Well, at least one of the books they're going to be publishing. The title will be called Dawn of the DC. Yeah, they haven't been shoving that down our throats the last couple of weeks. 2023 Free Comic Book Day special. It'll feature shorts from different books being published as part of the Dawn of the DC Universe line. Yeah, so anybody that's reading DC has seen that in the back of every issue the last 2 or 3 weeks. We're getting like this new DC universe in comics. So
Yeah, and it's. I mean, obviously, we all knew there was going to be something to like tease the new Dawn of the DC
yeah,
for this, but I was a little shocked that it's like it's going to be a sampler book. Like,
right, yeah,
I'll grab it because it's free and it goes in my collection, but I don't
right.
think I'll read it.
I mean, by this time, everybody knows that we're going to read what we want to that we think is interesting. Um, I mean, yeah, we're gonna pick it up for. I'll probably read it for free comic book day. Maybe it'll get me into something that I wouldn't have originally read. But I read quite a bit of DC. I don't know. Um, yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see how this goes. It's like another new 52 kind of thing. We'll see where these books are going and what direction.
yeah, and for me, these sampler books usually don't change my mind on things. It usually
No,
reinforces what I originally thought when it comes to
all
these.
this tells me is DC didn't have anything planned for free comic book day.
I
So,
will. I'll bet anything that the next. So there will be a YA like sampler as well,
yep.
and then there will be something to tie into whatever they think their flagship is.
Mm,
Probably Titans, because apparently they think that Titans is going to like be the new Justice League, because people read
yeah,
Justice League. People like me who read Justice League and don't care about Titans, all of a sudden are going to care about Titans. It's
I don't
not
read
going to work,
Titans
DC.
either. Yeah, yeah. I haven't cared about Titans since like the George Perez era.
Yeah, and especially since I'm calling the shots now.
Yeah,
It's so we ended Dark Crisis with Deathstroke in the back to tank, and the first year of Titans is going to be like, how do we go in the footsteps of the Justice League? Oh no!
right.
And then something's going to happen. Deathstroke's going to get his powers back somehow, get out of the Bapta tank, and then we're going to do Judas Contract for the 8th time, and then that's going to lead into whatever the next thing is that brings back the Justice League and is the new dawn of the
they're gonna
52 universe, whatever.
they're gonna call it something like the Judas Ultimatum or something.
I mean, yeah, it,
Yeah,
it's yeah.
yeah. We called it here.
And I'm like, the first one was okay. I think it's a
Yeah,
little overrated.
right.
I'm saying it online, but the 5th time, I'm like, I get it. Like, Deathstroke's mad at these teenagers.
He hates kids. We get it. Yeah, that whole like, I mean, that we talked about how the whole focus of like Nightwing and like being, oh, he's like this godlike being that can resist the darkness and all this shit. It's like, come on, guys. He's got electric batons and he used to
Yeah,
be in a circus.
he's happy Batman. Like,
Yeah.
I get
Uh,
that there's a Gen X generation that loves Nightwing,
right.
and I'm not shitting on any of them, but I mean, for the rest of us, it's like it's happy Batman. We get it. There's been good
Yeah.
stories, there's been bad stories, but like let's not. This isn't Superman we're talking about.
Yeah. Archie's bringing back another horror title called That Wilkin Boy. Mingo Wilkin is a lesser known Archie character. That this title will put him in a story involving cults, magic, and rock and roll. The title will be written by Cullen Bunn with art by Dan Schuning. All right, well, I didn't care until I saw Cullen Bunn's name attached to it. It sounds a little bit like what they were doing with the. I never watched the ridiculous Archie show, but I know they went off the rails with like cults and like people being murdered and
Yeah.
shit. So yeah,
Well, and from what I know too, Archie horror when they were doing. Remember when they were doing that like
uh huh,
Archie zombie book?
yep,
I forget what it's called now, but that was like one of the best selling times of Archie comics.
wow,
And then they just stopped doing it. So now they're kind of like, oh shit, that stuff people like that. Let's do it again.
yeah, we need to make
And
more of that.
yeah, and like we're getting that Jughead werewolf book, and then this, and I'm sure we'll get Afterlife with Archie is what the book was called. I'm sure that'll
Yeah,
come
that's right.
back. Like yeah,
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. And good for them for making Archie, interesting for readers.
yeah, people are digging it. Then
Yeah. The Expanse is coming to comics through comic publisher Boom Studios. This 12-issue series will tie into the book and TV universe by placing it in the missing years between the novels Babylon Ashes and Persepolis Rising. The series will be written by Andy Diggle with art by Rubin. I know there's a huge following for The Expanse.
yeah, you've never read or watched any of it.
No, I should.
So
Yeah,
I've been told like a million times I should, and
yeah,
it's one of those things like it looks cool, and I want to check it out, and I like sci-fi, so why wouldn't I?
right, right.
And it's on my list to do. I might just pick this up as like, let's see if this gets me into it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I might just because it's so easily accessible for us to add to our comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I think if I know correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, anyone out there, but from what I've been told, there's the novels, and then the TV series picks up where the novels left off and continue the story.
Yeah,
So then,
right.
like, yeah, let's throw some comics in there to kind of fill in some gaps. It's a cool idea. I like this how they're building that universe out. So
Hmm. Um, yeah, and then we had some pretty awful comic news for the community. We know that a lot of tech companies have been laying people off. Amazon owned Comixology laid off 75% of its staff, which is insane. That's over 18,000 jobs. I don't know what's more insane. Like, I guess I didn't realize there's that many people working for Comixology through Amazon.
yeah,
18,000 jobs. That's a lot. And 75% of it. So, like, for a time when Amazon took over Comixology, we said this fucking sucks. Um, it's gotten better as far as like the interface, but you can almost see they wanted to bring it all through Amazon and Kindle, and that's kind of what they've done. They've like consolidated over to like you read it through Kindle and all this bullshit. Um, that's crazy though. That really sucks.
it obviously it sucks when anyone loses their job. I'm like 100% on that bandwagon of I don't
Yeah,
want anyone to lose their job. When I saw that number, what I heard was, "Holy shit, there's a lot of bloat."
yeah, right.
And from what I've been reading about a lot of these tech layoffs from like Facebook and Twitter and any of these tech companies. Sorry, those are the first two that just came to mind when I think of
Yeah,
tech. But from what I've been hearing is that's what's happening is there's just like a shit ton of bloat in these companies. And now
yeah.
that the economy is doing what it's doing and we're talking about maybe recession and blah, 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 these companies are going like, well, we can't really have the bloat anymore. So
Hmm.
bye.
Yeah.
And
Goodbye.
that really sucks, but I understand business wise where it's coming from. So
And this isn't to shit on Amazon though. I mean, I don't know what their severance packages look like. I know Google recently laid off people,
yeah,
and they are given ridiculous severance packages. Like,
I'm sure that they've
yeah,
got something. I
yeah,
mean, I
like
would
there,
be if
yeah.
they're not, I would be shocked and I would be appalled because it's
It's
fucking Amazon.
it's crazy to be these. I know we're talking about tech companies on the comic podcast, but like, it's crazy to be these. It's cheaper for these tech companies to pay like 80% salaries for the rest of the year and like do continue benefits for all these employees and not have them work for them and like take the loss than have them working for them for like the rest of the year is the crazy part. Um,
I
yeah.
think it's looked at as like a 5-year benefit.
Hmm.
So like, yeah, you got to pay them 80% of their salary for the rest of the year, but if you're cutting down on bloat, then 5 years from now you actually save money is the thought
Yeah.
process. I'm not
Yeah.
a
That's
businessman. I don't know exactly, but
yeah. That makes sense, I guess.
my hope is though that the product stays
Yeah.
continues to improve from where it's been. I haven't talked much about it because I know it's kind of a fire rod. Like everybody hates Amazon, but
Right.
I think Comixology has been good recently. It's
Hmm.
still, I mean, I still prefer the old Comixology,
Right.
but they've definitely done a lot to improve it. My biggest complaint is their like fight with Apple and Google where you can't just buy it on the app on my phone. I have to
Yeah.
like go to my computer and buy it.
Yeah. I hate that shit. That's
Yeah.
annoying as hell. I will
But
say, yeah.
I'll say this. That's annoying, but what I found, and hint to everybody because we have an Amazon affiliate account, I've been going to people that I like using their affiliate accounts and then buying my books on my computer using their affiliate accounts so that
Hmm.
people I like get a kickback as well. So it's made
Okay.
that I mean, even though it's more of a pain for me to be like, I put the thing on my wish list on my phone
Right.
and then I come to my computer and buy it. It's given me this process to give people I like in podcasting and all that
Hmm.
money back by doing it that way.
Yeah. That makes
So,
sense.
yeah.
I'm hoping that maybe some competitiveness comes out of this. I mean, you have laid off 18,000 people in a structure that probably knows a little bit about the interface for this type of product. Like, can we maybe see one competitor for like digital comics reading? I know there's people that have DRM free uh, files, like when you go to Scout Comics and shit like that. But like, just another interface that's all about comics.
There's a few.
Yeah.
I've been following this really closely. There are a few. Here's
Okay.
the problem. None of them have DC, none of them
Mm.
have Marvel.
Yep.
And until you can convince DC and Marvel to be on your app as well as Comixology or in
Yeah,
place of
you'll
Comixology,
never
you're fucked.
compete.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll never compete.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's the problem. Um, well, that being said, I read quite a bit of comics this week, so I guess we'll just get into that.
I read a couple, but I have a feeling you read most of the ones I read.
Probably, yeah. There are a lot of DC shit.
Yeah.
Some stuff I was behind on. I finally read Rogue Sun #9, by Ryan Perot and Rena on the art. The Rogue Sun gets his ass kicked, and then he loses his girlfriend. Pretty shitty issue for him. We find out like his step siblings like steal the rock to summon they try to summon their dad, like the spirit of their dad, but they end up summoning some guy like who's dressed in like old timely clothing. So I'm guessing he's like the original Rogue Sun, and that's kind of how it ends. DC Mech #6 is the finale by Porter and Rebus on the art. Good ending. The heroes defeat Darkseid. That's that's what you wrap it
Shocking.
up. Yeah, you wrap it up. It's a fun book. Mechs fighting each other. There was all this Bizarro shit going on with the Bizarro mechs, and that was a lot of fun. I think overall it was great. I did read. This is an indie Kickstarter book, Tales of the Space Knights by Kevin Anthony Catalan. I finally got around to reading that. Amazing art, like cool story, fantasy wise, like Dark Souls esque art, which I loved. Takes place sci-fi with like nasty monsters. It was just an overall cool story, with like a combination of a lot of things that I love. So I really enjoyed Tales of Space Knights.
And you can go back and see our interview with him back
Yes,
in November, I believe.
yeah, yeah, shortly before the end of the year. Nemesis Reloaded, #1, Mark Miller, Jorge Jimenez. Chris talked about this one. Yeah, I thought it was like you said, he fleshed out the character more. It was a good intro, and yeah, it was Mark Miller coming out strong with the "I want all the cops dead" kind of thing. Classic Mark Miller, so no surprise there. I thought it was a solid first issue though. Maskerade #4, Kevin Smith, Andy McElfresh, and Sprengelmeyer on the art. Are you still reading Maskerade?
Yeah, but I'm really behind on it.
Okay. Yeah, so Maskerade kills a bad priest in a crazy way. He's into like bondage and all this shit, so you can imagine that gets kind of weird. Uh we realize the people that like do the mask thing, like where they put the fake faces on, start to hear and see things, like go crazy. And so the main character is starting to see her dead brother and is like talking to him even though he's not there. So there's some repercussions from like using the being tested on and stuff. You talked about Lazarus Planet Alpha, Wade Yang, Federici. Cool issue, lots of cool characters, and we're just excited to see how this magical rain falling from the sky is going to transform all the heroes and humans and turn them into metas or take away their powers. Which has a lot to do with like every issue coming out lately with DC. Monkey Prince #10, Yang and Chang, ties into Lazarus Planet.
Yep.
The magic rain starts, and we see Supergirl like lose her powers. We see Monkey King fighting some monsters. His grandpa, at the end of the issue, repairs his Phantom Zone projector, and he's talking about how he's going to pull the actual Monkey King from the Phantom Zone and like control him. So there's a little more going on there. Yeah, that was a good issue. We've been talking about how good Monkey Prince is. So
Yeah, and I thought it was a great way to do a tie-in to Lazarus Planet because, like, even though it tied in,
yeah,
it still continued what it was doing,
right.
and it tied in as much as it kind of introduced the idea that there's this magic rain coming down, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's like you can continue with this in Lazarus Planet, and I'm hoping
Yeah.
like next issue it just kind of goes on with what it's
Yep.
been doing.
Batman Fortress #8, Widow and Robertson. Did you talk about this already?
No, this came out
Oh,
just
this
this
week.
week,
Okay.
so
I thought this is the ending. I thought it was a solid ending. There's some shocking things that happen. To like they try to negotiate with the villains that are trying to kill Superman, and he basically says, "I'll give up my powers if you let me go and let everybody live." And they go, "Okay, that's cool." But what he doesn't tell him is he transfers his powers to Batman. And by the end of the book, we get a Bat Superman, which is awesome. And then Luther, like they realize that Luther's actually the shitty person, and they crush him like a tin can, like inside his suit. So there's just like a pile of blood, and then they're like, that escalated quickly. That was a pretty fun scene.
Yeah,
I think overall is a great series.
it was, and it's one of the few times where I really hope we get a sequel.
Yeah, yeah, that would be. Yeah, I know. Bat Superman. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
they obviously set something up here,
Yeah,
and Derek has hinted that like he's working on something else.
yeah.
So I'm hoping that's the case.
Let's see if I can message him on Twitter and get him to spill some deets. Batman Superman World's Finest, number 11, Mark Waid, Dan Mora. So David finally gets sent back to his Earth by the end of this issue. And lo and behold, Gog is there waiting for him.
Well, he gets sent back to A Earth.
Oh, A Earth.
I don't think it was his.
Yeah, we're not sure if it's his, but it's the Kingdom Come Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, where Gog is waiting for him. Gog then trains him to be Magog. And hijinks ensue after that.
Yeah. Decent issue.
Yeah.
A lot of wrap up.
Next issue is the date with Supergirl, so can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that one.
Mark Waid will make it fun.
Yeah.
He's been doing a good balance of like seriousness and fun. The new champion of Shazam, number 4, Campbell and Doc Shaner on the art. It was a pretty interesting reveal. Like the villain was actually Dr. Sivana's daughter. I thought that was kind of cool. She saves the day, and then by the end of the series, we're like, oh, Billy's still gone. I need to go save him in my Lazarus planet tie-in. Is kind of what they say. 4 issues were fine to me. It wasn't anything like life changing. I thought the villain reveal was cool, but yeah, like you said, I want to see her save Billy. We didn't get that, and we're now going to get it into an event comic, which is it kind of feels like they pushed it to that, but. Yeah.
Yeah. I gave up on this series.
Yeah, I know you haven't. Dark Knights of Steel, number 9, Tom Taylor, Putre on the art. This was pretty sick. And I know you talked about this one, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, like you said, that huge war happening, and then to find out like Alfred reveals he's Martian Manhunter and the White Martians are behind everything, that was fucking great.
Yeah. Did not see that coming.
Yeah, and everybody, even like the people fighting the war were like, well, fuck. Like, what have we been doing this whole time? Stargirl and the Lost Children, number 3, Jeff Johns and Knock on the art. I know you're not reading this, but this was like a holy shit issue moment. So the childminder, is so Stargirl's on this island where all these sidekicks are being held hostage. The childminder villain is actually super creepy and captures Red Arrow, Amiko. Stargirl goes to the hideout where all the sidekicks are, and she meets, like, you get this huge like splash page of all these different heroes like Hourman, sidekick, and all this stuff. And then we see Corky Baxter, who's Rip Hunter's sidekick. Corky is from the he is the Time Master with the coonskin cap that we saw in Batman's cave back in the Flashpoint book, if you remember, the one that was like talking to Bruce.
Oh, the Time Lord?
Yeah, he's the Time Lord. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he tells us that he's Rip Hunter's sidekick, and he's there. And so they're like, well, okay, so if the Time Lord is here, is this island out of time? Because that's like all the sidekicks still think it's like the 1940s, and he's like, yeah, it's something like that. Like this island is out of space and time or something. And they find out that they're like, we need Jay Garrick's daughter to get us out of here. That's what he says. And they're like, oh shit. And so Kimiko, when she's in the jail, she's been talking to someone across the door from her, and it's revealed that it's Judy Garrick in the next room that they have locked up. And now they're like, the childminder is waiting for like her partner to show up, and I don't know what they're going to do with her, but it seems that they're like keeping her powers under wraps, or like zapping her power, like using the Speed Force or something. It was a pretty cool reveal, because you're like, oh shit, like, Judy Garrick is a sidekick that I know. Like, I don't know. It's been a fun book. I think it would definitely be more beneficial to read as a trade, though. That's the way I see Jeff Johns going lately.
Yeah.
Um, is what it feels like. And then the last book I had was Lazarus Planet: Assault on Krypton. Lots of writers and artists. It's cool to see. Shout out to Skylar Partridge on the show. Did a story. Um, the first part was there's a bunch of different stories. First part was about restoring the helmet of fate, and Nia the Dreamwalker gets it. Which that was like the first story. She had to get the helmet to like combat what's going on. I didn't care for the second story. Uh it was like Superboy was like flirting with some like no name character. I was like, I already got this in the Superboy book before. Like, I don't need to see more of that. It was like some random like civilian that gets powers, and then they start flirting with each other. It was just like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's fun for somebody else to read. And then we get the Mercy Grave. Yeah,
Are we talking about John Kent or are we talking about Superboy? Like,
no, like John Kent. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Just so because yeah, I'm thinking you're saying John Kent, but I'm sure everybody thinking Superboy is thinking what's his name? The current
Oh,
Superboy.
Connor.
Connor, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. See, John Kent. I know he's supposed to be Superman or whatever, but uh, it's just like I don't know.
What he's
Mercy.
not.
Yeah, Mercy Graves' story. Right, that's Luther's assistant. Um, she gets powers, and that was cool. And then we find it like Power Girl gets new powers. She can read minds. It was an okay issue. Felt like a lot of catching up that they just placed there. Um, wasn't too bad. And that was it for me this week. I don't know if you read that, but
I didn't get a chance to read that yet.
okay.
Yeah, so everyone out there, my comic shop owner just went through like hardcore surgery, so I won't be getting my books for a few weeks.
Yep.
So my conversation here is going to be lacking next couple of
It's all right.
weeks. But
You can still say oohs and ahs.
yeah, but I did read Punisher #9, which not only does Punisher end up killing Ares, the god of war, but we basically get to see like the whole Marvel universe is reacting to it and saying like, okay, like it was kind of weird because it's kind of like, yeah, this Punisher thing is no longer funny. Like we actually need to do something about it. It was kind of like the reaction they gave.
Yeah.
So the book ends with throughout the book, like Daredevil's in there and he's like, listen, like we got to take this seriously.
Yeah.
And it ends with kind of what looks like a secret Avengers team being like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like we can't just let this go. So I have a feeling they're setting up some sort of big event where it's like Punisher versus the Marvel Universe or something.
Mm-hmm.
But was one of the better issues. It's like at this point, I've been so deep into it that I just been continuing it, but it's gotten better as the book goes on because my biggest complaint about the series is that they're trying really hard to like retcon Frank into always being like a psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
And it falls flat. Like it feels too much like they're trying too hard because
Yeah.
of everybody knows why, the political reason. But
Yeah.
but they've strayed away from that the past couple issues and really gotten into a real like story that I'm enjoying. So
Cool.
Punisher's been good. And I read Nightclub #2. I don't know. I've been sitting on this for a few days. This might be the last issue I read of this. This is
Mm.
the Mark Millar vampire book.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
It's like so the kid gets vampire powers in the first issue, and like he
Mm-hmm.
establishes that it's all the vampire stuff you think of. Like in this issue, they can't cross a body of water
Mm-hmm.
and like stuff like that. But he turns his friends into vampires too, and their whole plan is like we're gonna become YouTube stars. And I'm just kind of it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
So I,
That doesn't
I'm out
sound
on
it.
this book. I think, but it looks pretty. And what's really nice too is he's only selling this book for $2 an issue. So it
Mm.
kind of sucks that I don't like it because it's actually kind of cheap.
Yeah.
But they all can't be winners.
No.
And then what I have been doing is getting into all these Kickstarter books I have lying around.
Uh huh.
And so this one I've gotten within the past month, but the 13th Labor, number 3,
Mm-hmm.
a series I really enjoy. It's all about Hercules finishes the 12 labors, and then he
Oh,
finds
cool.
out there's a 13th labor. He has to go into the future, find one of his descendants who's supposed to fight a battle in this like intergalactic gladiator thing
That's sick.
to save humanity. And the descendant that he's supposed to help is dead.
Oh.
So he has to go to this descendant's sister and try to get help her.
Mm.
And in this issue, like we're actually in the intergalactic like Coliseum, and we get to see kind of the first battle. So it's a really fun series with really good art in it. So if you guys see it on Kickstarter, I recommend it, and I really like that issue too.
Cool. Sounds awesome.
That was everything I had, Mike. So I guess where could people find you on the internet?
They can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter and pretty much all social media. And you can find the show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter. Also at fortresscomicnews.com. Remember, everybody, give us the 5-star review on the podcatcher of your choice. To like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version. And if you want to go the extra mile, as I said earlier, we have the affiliate links, including Amazon, and the show notes, and also the Patreon at patreon.com/fortresscomics. Thank you all so much for watching and or listening this week, and we'll see you all here next week.